Kevin woke up early that spring morning. The sun came through the window, making your room shine. He sat on the bed and looked at his wheelchair next to him. Kevin sighed, remembering the day his life changed. 13 years ago, Kevin injured his leg. What seemed like just a simple injury turned into something much worse. Doctors said he had a disease called reflex sympathetic dystrophy, or RSD. It was an illness that made Kevin feel a lot of pain. Over time, the pain became so severe that doctors had to remove Kevin's leg. This was very difficult for him. But Kevin was strong. He decided he wasn't going to let this end his life. Kevin got ready and went for his daily walk in the park. He enjoyed watching children playing and birds singing. It made him feel happy, even with all the difficulties. As Kevin watched a group of ducks swimming in the lake, he heard a soft voice. "Hi! Can I sit here?" Kevin looked up and saw a woman smiling at him. She had kind eyes and a warm smile. "Sure," Kevin replied, smiling back. The woman sat on the bench next to Kevin's wheelchair. "My name is Kim," she said. "Nice to meet you, Kim. I'm Kevin." The two started talking. Kim asked Kevin about his life, his dreams and his hopes. Kevin was surprised. Many people just looked at her wheelchair, but Kim seemed to see beyond that. They talked for hours. Kevin told Kim about his illness and how he learned to live with it. Kim listened carefully, her eyes full of understanding. "You're amazing, Kevin," Kim said. "To go through all of that and still have a smile on your face, that's true strength." Kevin felt his heart beat faster. No one had spoken to him like that before. In the days that followed, Kevin and Kim met many times in the park. They talked, laughed, and shared stories. Kevin began to feel something he hadn't felt in a long time: hope. One day, as they watched the sunset together, Kim held Kevin's hand. "Kevin," she said softly, "I think I'm falling in love with you." Kevin looked at Kim, surprised. "But what about my condition? Don't you mind that I'm in a wheelchair?" Kim smiled and shook Kevin's hand. "What matters is who you are on the inside, Kevin. And on the inside, you're the most beautiful person I've ever met." At that moment, Kevin felt as if his heart was going to explode with happiness. He never imagined he would find someone who loved him like this, exactly as he was. The months passed, and the love between Kevin and Kim grew more and more each day. They spent all their free time together, making plans for the future. One night, while they were having dinner at a candlelit restaurant, Kevin held Kim's hand. "Kim," he said, his voice shaking a little, "you made me believe in love again. You showed me that life can be beautiful, even with all the difficulties. Will you marry me?" Kim's eyes filled with tears of joy. "Yes, Kevin. 1,000 times yes." They hugged each other, their hearts beating together. Kevin knew that with Kim by his side, he could face any challenge. As they walked home that night, hands in hand and hearts full of love, Kevin thought about how his life had changed. He had been through some very difficult times, but now, with Kim, he felt complete. Kevin looked up at the stars shining in the dark sky. He made a silent request, thanking him for finding Kim and promising to love her forever. That night, Kevin slept with a smile on his face, dreaming of the wonderful future he and Kim would build together. He knew that no matter what happened, their love would be strong enough to overcome any obstacle. Kevin woke up early that morning. The sun had barely risen, but he was already excited. Today was a special day. He was going to begin his secret plan to surprise Kim on her wedding day. Kevin got ready and went to the clinic of Dr. Martinez, the physical therapist. When he got there, the doctor greeted him with a smile. "Good morning, Kevin. Ready to get started?" Kevin took a deep breath and smiled. "There, doctor. Let's go." Dr. Martinez brought 2 shiny prosthetics. Kevin looked at them with a mix of fear and hope. He knew it wouldn't be easy, but he really wanted to do this for Kim. "Let's start slowly," said the doctor. "First, let's put on the prosthetics and see how you feel." Kevin nodded. With the help of Dr. Martinez, he fitted the prosthetics. It was strange to feel something where his leg used to be. "How do you feel?" asked the doctor. Kevin moved his legs a little. "Different. But not bad." The doctor smiled. "Good. Now let's try to stand." Kevin held on to the support bars and, with great effort, began to stand up. His legs were shaking, and he was in pain. But he didn't give up. After several attempts, Kevin managed to stand for a few seconds. He was sweaty and tired but happy. "Well done, Kevin!" Dr. Martinez applauded. "It's a great start." Kevin smiled, proud of himself. "Thanks, doctor. I can't wait to show Kim." Over the next few weeks, Kevin went to the clinic every day. He practiced standing, taking small steps, and keeping his balance. Sometimes it was difficult and painful, but Kevin didn't give up. One day, while Kevin was at the clinic, his phone rang. It was Kim. "Hi, love," she said. "Where are you? I thought we were going to have lunch together today." Kevin felt his heart sink. He hated lying to Kim, but he wanted the surprise to be perfect. "Sorry, honey," he said. "I had to take care of some work stuff. Can we have dinner together later?" Kim looked a little sad, but understood. "Of course, love. I'll see you tonight." After he hung up, Kevin felt guilty. He looked at Dr. Martinez. "Doctor, am I doing the right thing? I hate lying to Kim." Dr. Martinez smiled gently. "Kevin, you're doing this out of love. The surprise will make Kim very happy. Sometimes a little secret for a good cause is allowed." Kevin nodded, feeling a little better. He went back to practicing with the prosthetics, imagining Kim's face when she saw him standing at the altar. Meanwhile, Kim was busy with wedding preparations. She chose flowers, tasted cakes, and planned every detail. Sometimes she missed Kevin, who always seemed busy these days. But she understood that he had a lot of work. One afternoon, Kim was choosing her wedding dress with her best friend, Sarah. "Kim, you're going to look beautiful in this dress," Sarah exclaimed. Kim smiled, spinning in front of the mirror. The dress was beautiful, all white with small embroidered flowers. "Do you think Kevin will like it?" Kim asked, a little nervous. Sarah laughed. "Kim, Kevin loves you. You could get married in a sack of potatoes and he would still think you're the most beautiful bride in the world." Kim laughed too, but soon became serious. "Sarah, sometimes I worry. What if it's too hard for Kevin? What if he gets tired of being with someone who needs to take care of him?" Sarah held Kim's hands. "Kim, listen. The love you and Kevin have is special. He loves you just as you are, and you love him just as he is. That's rare and precious. Don't let fear ruin that." Kim hugged her friend, feeling better. "You're right. Thank you, Sarah." The days passed quickly. Kevin continued his secret training, becoming increasingly stronger and more confident with his prosthetics. Kim continued planning the wedding, dreaming about the special day. One night, a week before the wedding, Kevin and Kim were sitting on their porch, looking at the stars. "Kim," Kevin said softly, "are you happy?" Kim looked at Kevin, her eyes shining with love. "Happier than I ever thought possible, Kevin. You make me happy." Kevin smiled, his heart full of love. "You make me happy too, Kim. More than I can explain." They stood there, hand in hand, dreaming of the future they would build together. Kevin thought about his surprise, how wonderful it would be to see Kim's face when he stood at the altar. Kim thought about how her life had changed since meeting Kevin, how he made her feel loved and special every day. The stars shone in the sky, as if blessing their love. Kevin and Kim knew that no matter what happened, they would face it together. Because their love was strong, it was true, and it was forever. The sun had barely risen when Kevin opened his eyes. His heart was beating fast. Today was the day. The day he was going to marry Kim. Kevin looked at the prosthetics next to the bed. He took them carefully, remembering all the days he trained to use them. Today, he was going to show Kim how much he loved her. At Kim's house, things were hectic. Sarah, Kim's best friend, helped do the bride's hair. "You look beautiful, Kim," Sarah said, smiling. Kim looked in the mirror. Her white dress sparkled, and her hair had little flowers. She smiled, but her eyes looked a little sad. "What's wrong, Kim?" Sarah asked. Kim sighed. "I'm happy, Sarah. Very happy. But I wish Kevin could stand with me at the altar." Sarah hugged her friend. "Kim, your love is stronger than anything. It doesn't matter if Kevin is sitting or standing. What matters is the love you feel." Kim smiled, feeling better. Sarah was right. She loved Kevin no matter what. At the church, guests began to arrive. Kevin was in a separate room, getting ready. He looked at Dr. Martinez, who was there to help. "I'm nervous, doctor," Kevin said. Dr. Martinez smiled. "It's normal, Kevin. But remember everything you've trained for. You can do this." Kevin took a deep breath and started putting on the prosthetics. His hands were shaking a little, but he didn't give up. Meanwhile, Kim arrived at the church. She looked beautiful in her white dress. All the guests smiled when they saw her. The music started playing. Kim started walking down the church aisle. His heart was pounding. She looked ahead, eager to see Kevin. Kevin heard the song. It was time. With Dr. Martinez's help, he stood up. His legs were shaking a little, but he was standing. "Remember, Kevin," Dr. Martinez said quietly. "One step at a time." Kevin nodded. He took one step, then another. "I was walking." Slowly, but it was. In the church, the priest began to speak. "Please, everyone stand to welcome the groom." Kim was confused. Why did the priest ask everyone to stand? Kevin couldn't. At that moment, the doors opened. Kim looked and couldn't believe what she saw. Kevin was there. Standing. Walking towards her. Kim's eyes filled with tears. She couldn't believe it. Kevin, her Kevin, was walking up to her. Kevin was smiling, his eyes fixed on Kim. Every step was difficult, but seeing Kim's face made it all worth it. When Kevin got close to Kim, he stopped. His legs were shaking, but he was steady. "Surprise," he said softly, smiling at Kim. Kim couldn't speak. She just hugged Kevin, crying with happiness. The guests applauded, many also crying. It was a magical moment. The priest smiled and began the ceremony. "We're here today to celebrate Kevin and Kim's love." Kevin and Kim barely heard the priest's words. They just looked at each other, their hearts full of love. When it came time for the vows, Kevin held Kim's hands. "Kim," he began, his voice shaking a little. "You taught me that love has no limits. That no matter what happens, we can get through everything together. I love you more than words can say. I promise to always be by your side, in good times and bad." Kim, with tears in her eyes, said, "Kevin, you are the strongest and bravest man I know. Your love makes me want to be a better person every day. I promise to love and support you always, no matter what." The priest smiled. "By the power vested in me, I pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride." Kevin and Kim kissed, while everyone applauded. It was a kiss full of love, promises, dreams for the future. After the ceremony, at the party, everyone wanted to talk to Kevin and Kim. Many asked about Kevin's prosthetics. Was it difficult to learn how to use it? Someone asked. Kevin smiled. It was, but it was worth it. I wanted to do something special for Kim. Kim, who hadn't left Kevin's side, smiled. "You didn't have to do that, love. I love you anyway." "I know," Kevin said, kissing Kim's forehead. "But I wanted to show that with you by my side, I can do anything." The party continued into the night. Kevin and Kim danced together, slowly but happily. They laughed, talked with friends, and enjoyed every moment. When the party ended and they were alone, Kim looked at Kevin. "You're amazing, you know that?" she said. Kevin smiled. "We're amazing together, Kim." The sun came through the bedroom window, making Kim open her eyes slowly. She smiled when she saw Kevin sleeping next to her. It had been a month since the wedding, and each day seemed better than the last. Kim got up without making a sound and went to the kitchen. She wanted to surprise Kevin. As she prepared breakfast, Kim thought about how her life had changed. In the living room, Kevin woke up to the delicious smell of coffee. He sat up in bed and looked at his prosthetics. It was still strange to use them, but every day it got easier. "Good morning, sleepyhead," Kim said, entering the room with a tray full of delicious things. Kevin smiled. "Good morning, love. What a nice surprise." They drank coffee together in bed, laughing and talking about their plans for the day. "How about we go to the park today?" Kevin suggested. "We can have a picnic." Kim loved the idea. They got ready and left the house. On the way to the park, many people looked at Kevin walking with the prosthetics. Some were smiling, others seemed surprised. In the park, they found a beautiful spot under a big tree. Kevin helped Kim spread the towel on the floor. "You know," Kevin said, sitting down next to Kim, "sometimes I still can't believe we're here. That we're married, that I can walk again." Kim took Kevin's hand. "I know. It feels like a dream, doesn't it? But it's real. We did it together." They stayed there, enjoying the sun and each other's company. Suddenly, a ball came rolling towards them. A small boy came running after. "Hi," the boy said, looking curiously at Kevin's legs. "What happened to your legs?" Kevin smiled. He was already used to questions like that. "I injured my legs a long time ago. So the doctors made these special legs for me." The boy's eyes widened. "Wow. That's really cool. You're like a superhero." Kevin and Kim laughed. "Well, I don't know if I'm a superhero," Kevin said. "But I had a lot of help from special people to be able to walk again." The boy's father arrived, looking embarrassed. "I'm sorry if my son bothered you." "Don't worry," Kim said. "He's adorable." After the boy and his father left, Kevin was quiet for a moment. "What are you thinking about?" Kim asked. Kevin looked at her, his eyes shining. "I was thinking, what if we had our own child?" Kim felt her heart beat faster. "Do you want to have a baby?" Kevin nodded. "Yes. I think we would be great parents." "What do you think?" Kim hugged Kevin happily. "I think it's a wonderful idea." In the months that followed, Kevin and Kim prepared to try for a baby. They fixed up a room in the house, painting the walls light yellow. One day, while Kevin was at work, Kim took a pregnancy test. When she saw the positive result, she couldn't wait to tell Kevin. When Kevin arrived home, Kim greeted him with a big smile. "Kevin, I have a surprise for you," she said, handing him a small box. Kevin opened the box and found the pregnancy test inside. His eyes filled with tears of joy. Are we having a baby?" he asked, his voice shaking with emotion. Kim nodded, also crying with happiness. They hugged each other, their hearts overflowing with love. The months passed quickly. Kim's belly was growing, and Kevin couldn't contain himself with so much happiness. He went to every doctor's appointment, listening intently to every word the doctor said. One night, Kim woke Kevin up. "Baby, I think it's time." "The baby is coming!" Kevin jumped out of bed, put on his prosthetics as quickly as he could, and helped Kim to the car. At the hospital, the hours seemed to go by. Finally, after much effort from Kim, a baby's cries filled the room. "It's a girl," the doctor announced. Kevin and Kim cried tears of joy upon seeing their little girl for the first time. She was perfect, with little tufts of dark hair and bright eyes. "What are we going to call her?" Kevin asked, holding the baby's hand. Kim smiled. "How about Hope?" "It means hope," Kevin agreed. "Hope. It's perfect." In the days that followed, Kevin and Kim learned how to be parents. It wasn't easy, but they faced each challenge together, with love and patience. One day, as Kevin was rocking Hope, he looked at Kim. "You know," he said softly, "when I lost my leg, I thought my life was over. But now, looking at you and our daughter, I see that it was just the beginning of something wonderful." Kim joined them, hugging her little family. "You're right, love. Sometimes the bad things that happen lead us to the best moments of our lives. They stood there, hugging each other, watching the sun set through the window. Kevin thought about everything he had been through, the pain, the fear, the uncertainty. But now, with Kim and Hope, he knew he could face anything. Their love had overcome all obstacles. Together they had created a family, a home full of love and hope. As Hope fell asleep in his arms, Kevin made a silent promise. He promised to always be the best father and husband he could be. He promised to never forget the power of love and perseverance. And there, in that perfect moment, Kevin knew that no matter what the future brought, they would face it together. Because their love was stronger than any challenge. It was a love that could overcome everything.